It is that time again where we bring you guys the theories and the suggestions for the brand new dungeon here in Dungeon Quest, because the update is only a few days away, confirmed by Veep Caffey himself. So obviously we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different theories and suggestions today. So I think it's only fair that we jump straight into the video for today. We are back on the daily grind. Yes, I am so excited to be back on the grind. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. There's so much that we can do, but kind of want to address something in my comments yesterday. Just because I am playing with guilds does not mean they are just carrying me because I am a mod. I'm actually being invited to them. I actually have items. Thank you so much to Chadsky and Klee for actually hooking me up with items, because my items were very, very bad. And obviously it's gonna be a while to actually have a lot of time to do certain things. So let's jump into these suggestions. I will probably butcher names, so I'm very, very sorry, but these are some of the liked and most disliked items inside of DQ suggestions, and also really good theories for what could be happening in the new dungeon, because I know Vinny has been looking through the DQ suggestions chat recently. So without further ado, let's start with this one. This being a game change. Ooh, could you make a spell that is for a tank and not a healer? So obviously we do have basically tanks being healers these days, which is kind of sucky. So this person suggests the spell when cast will put down a stationary dome big enough for a few people to fit inside of it at a time. Maximum without standing on one another should be around 4 people. That should give an idea for the size of it. And what the spell does when it's put down in a dome-like matter, it would either 1, buff teammates inside of the circle for their damage, or 2, block all damage by 100%. And then he thinks the cooldown should be, if it's the buff, around 20 to 30 total seconds, and a 10-second usage, a bit too much in my opinion. And if it's going to be for blocking damage, then he thinks that it should be for 15 to 20 second cooldown, and a total second time of usage of 4 to 8 seconds. They also say, if you like either of the spell ideas I have and you want them to, please upvote this idea. Obviously, I would love to see actual tanking spells. I think would be really, really helpful, especially both of these honestly could be a really, really good idea for tank spells. Obviously, the times would probably need to be nerfed a lot, especially if it's going to block 100% damage, especially at bosses, and maybe the buff, just depending on what the buff is like, maybe. Not entirely sure, but 10 seconds might be a bit too much, maybe 5-6 seconds or ticks, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But the second suggestion for today is to have a boss phase 2, and it gives 3 loot drops, but bosses are harder and has more moves. Also, it has a game mode, so this would be a really cool thing to have, obviously after nightmare mode. So for example, chaos mode, where we introduce boss phase 2, where it is harder mobs, harder bosses yet again, but obviously it can only drop better loot, or just 1 more loot even. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe that could be an option for different types of cosmetics in the future. That'd be a really good idea. And this next suggestion, this I think is being implemented this time around. So this is going to be option to turn off skill effects, because they said, please, whenever I'm in a big raid, my phone is going to explode. 100% agree with this. Low effects modes, turning off skill effects would be absolutely helpful. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to turn off healing spells. I think that'd be the only one that we shouldn't turn off in that case. But I think this is coming out this dungeon. I'm not entirely sure. I know we have mentioned it, and I'm not sure entirely if it's coming out or not, but hopefully it does. This next suggestion is, when you click on the play button on your title screen, you should choose whether you're able to go into lobby 1 or lobby 2 to teleport. I like this, actually. A lot of people forget that lobby 2 even exists, unless you are doing boss raids, unless you're in a private server, but a lot of people completely forget about this one. I think it'd be a really good idea, because I'd be able to go to lobby 2 straight away instead of loading into lobby 1, and I wouldn't have lower levels trying to get into raids or taking up space in streams and stuff. I think it'd be a really, really good idea. And then the next one actually coexists with that one, is to add an actual blacklist system. Yes, we have a lot of people that come in and spam and be very, very toxic towards one another. So obviously a blacklist system would be amazing to add in, so you don't just have to like private your runs. It just means that so that one person can't particularly join your run. I think that'd be a very, very good idea. Hopefully not abused as much, but I think it'd be a really good idea. So this one, I want to do an entire video just based off of this one suggestion in the future, because I think this suggestion is absolutely fantastic. And so Terra Guy says, make mob drops unique crafting materials in each level of the dungeon to make a crafting tree so that there will be a purpose to keep some of the items that you get, and also include some materials that will come from very early game that is still useful in the late game so that there is a reason to run earlier dungeons. These materials will make weapons and armor, and this is for scaling of the game's difficulty, and because when you unlock the next level, it is almost always impossible to play with a party of less than 3 people of your level, and by getting materials from the mobs, it will increase balance and hopefully make carries less usual. Balancing the economy such as scaling between the spell of each dungeon less so that you can't just give a high level item to a noob and pretty much give them an infinite amount of coins. You will also need to decrease the scaling of upgrades and make an auction house possibly where you can bid on items that you want to buy, and also add debuffs to specific items such as items from the underworld which will inflict fire or something, and items from Winter Outpost which could inflict an ice buff. I want to do an entire video just based on this one suggestion, so if you guys want to see an entire video made on this one suggestion, leave a comment down below. I think this would be a really unique way to change up Dungeon Quest for the better. I think it'd be really good idea. My messing up of English is great, but I'm surprised this didn't get more thumbs up. I cannot wait to see this actually in action. I think it'd be a really good idea. So the next one is actually going to be for a brand new spell. Obviously, got to be a legendary spell. Come on, you cannot just add a spell for mages and warriors and not have one for the healers. So Gamer Dragon said, add a new healing spell for a dungeon called Enchanted Life Dash that has more range. So obviously we have our Inner Rage and Inner Focus, which is basically our damage boosts for both of the dungeons for mage and warrior, but what about the tanks and the healers? They're kind of left out here. Let's get a brand new legendary Enchanted Life Dash. I think it'd be absolutely amazing to have a new legendary spell this time around, especially. I have a few ideas with what could be used as a legendary spell as well, so hopefully we get one this dungeon. I really want to see it. Just saying. 100% will want to see a legendary spell this time around. So obviously this next one is add boss number 4 in the next dungeon. Interesting. Are we going to get longer maps? Are we going to get more bosses? Are we going to have 2 bosses in one room? I think a 4th boss would be absolutely great. Obviously, we've had the same type of 1 boss, 2 bosses. Now we've got 3 bosses for quite a while now, and I think we should get a 4th boss. We're getting to that point where we're really high levels, really high gear. Let's add a 4th boss. Let's make it a bit harder for everyone here. And then the next the next suggestion for today is going to be going against your friends. So you'd both be able to do the same dungeon but in a different server, and whoever finishes first wins. I think this is really, really cool for like racing, especially if you're doing it solo or something with like little teams, like team versus team. I think it'd be a really good suggestion. Maybe add another video entirely just dedicated to that and how we would actually go through this process, how we could create it and why we should create it. And if we're actually doing anything in the future with it, I think that'd be a really, really good thing as well. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 suggestions left for today. And the 4th one is going to be add a healing dummy inside of the lobbies so that healers can see how many skill points they can put in stamina and how many they can put in spell power. I agree with that. So obviously you can really test out how much healing you're doing. Obviously the lobby kind of needs a revamp. We've had this lobby for well over a year now. I think it'd be really cool to have a lobby revamp, and adding a healing dummy would just be helpful for the healers and the tanks. I think that'd be really, really cool. Even like little testing areas inside of the lobbies where you could test like your damage against certain things that are actual like mobs or bosses. I think it'd be really, really cool. But this next one actually kind of coincides with it. So have a practice arena. So basically like a wave defense, but no permadeath. And if you meet the level requirements, you can choose whatever boss that you want and fight it and practice with 0 XP, no items, but it would just help people struggling to dodge. Yes, as I said, just with the last one, a really good idea would be to have something in the lobby where you can test RNG on something. Maybe you guys can select a boss and then you enter it in, and then you obviously can try and dodge it. I think it'd be a really good idea to practice dodging, especially because people like myself have very, very terrible ping because of our internet or where we are from, so that would just be very, very helpful. So The second last suggestion for today is going to be have a death animation for the bosses on every dungeon so they don't just disappear instantly every time when they die. So they obviously said, I don't mean that they have to wait for the boss to die in order to open the next stage, but they can still go past the stage while the boss is dying. Just kind of gives more of a kind of like slice of life type update to it. So it's like, for example, the Sea King's Trident one, say for example he bursts into steam and slowly melts into the ground, or the lava bosses, you know, slowly like falling over the edge into the lava. Something like that makes it kind of more realistic of like, hey, we're fighting a boss and it's dying, instead of just poof, it's gone, bye, invisible here. But the last suggestion for today, I want this suggestion so badly, and I'm so glad that you guys agreed with me with this one, is in the inventory, make it so you can have sets. So you can save your set like armor, helmet, weapon, spells, and you can click it and it'll automatically give you your set. So obviously locked in sets would be really cool, so you can have loadouts that are saved. So for example, if you have a mage, a warrior, and a tank loadout, obviously those are hidden away from your inventory so you can't sell the items, and they're hidden away so you can click which loadout that you want to do, and you can edit those loadouts at any time as well. I think that would be a very, very amazingly good idea. What did you guys think of the current suggestions that we have for the brand new Enchanted Forest update? Obviously, these may or may not be included this time around, and if not, I hope that they get added within the next update. I know that Vinny is definitely working on more updates in the future, because we gotta have more updates, and I cannot wait to see them obviously happening. I will be streaming the update on the day that it does drop, on the exact minute that it does drop, as well as we're going to be uploading every single day. Let me know what you guys would like to see down in the comment section below, and also if you're still listening to me right now, what do you guys think of the brand new outro music? I did put new outro music in yesterday's video as well, it will be in today's as well, so let me know what you guys think. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. Also make sure to hit the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video or start a stream. We are back on the daily grind, so hashtag daily grind in the comments if you're still listening, and the outro. So I hope you guys have a lovely day or night wherever you guys are in the world, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Bye guys.